So, what's up? In this video, we're going to try to create a simple support team agent. Yeah, one that handles replies to emails. If we've decided to create an agent that, let's say, support staff uses to answer emails, that means emails need to come in. So, which trigger do we need to choose? Every flow starts with a trigger. That will be a Gmail trigger. As some of you might have already guessed. So let's do on message received, meaning whenever we get a message, we check every minute and all new messages come in here. Let me send myself an email now. But before I send myself an email, let's touch on the topic of credentials again. Yes, to create new credentials. If you don't know how to do it, let me know in the comments and I'll make a separate video about it. Because honestly, some people do ask how to actually create credentials. Write in the comments if you need it. I see that a lot of people still don't understand this. So I'll make a dedicated video and just send everyone to watch it. But for now, let's keep going. What I want to cover next is that you need to go to Google Cloud and make sure that the API is enabled. Sorry, I got interrupted by a call. Let's continue. So, you need to make sure that the Google API for Gmail is enabled. We do this in Google Cloud. And you need to log in, and right here you can even enter, for example, the Google Drive API. Google Drive. No, not this one. Google Drive. Okay, enable. API console, click on the right. We're in the API console now, and here we need to select Drive. Google Drive. So I already have it enabled, but for you, you'll see here, see API enabled, but you'll have a button here, the Enable API button. You need to click it, and it will be enabled for you. So again, just to repeat for Google services, if you're using Google services, you need to enable the API for each one in order to use it. Sometimes, when you're setting up credentials and things still aren't working, just know that most likely your API is disabled, and in about 90% of such cases, that's really the issue. The API is turned off. Alright, let's go back. Now I'm sending myself an email. Okay, I've sent myself an email, and here, we've already received it. Hello? What types of refund do you have? So, what types of refunds do you have? But note that the Simplify option is enabled here. I recommend that you turn it off, because sometimes, when the message is large, some information gets lost. So let's turn it off. And now we get the full information, including the text, but there are also various HTML tags, message headers, and everything else. So turn it off and keep working, let's say, with the raw email. Alright, what's next? We received the email, but we need to somehow identify these messages. For example, whether they're related to support or not. Because a lot of emails will be coming to this inbox, possibly spam and everything else as well. That's why we need a text classifier node here. So what does this node do? It takes some information and sorts it into categories. In this case, we need to input the email text here. Let me pull it out from here now. Here's the text. Let's insert the text. And what categories do we want to create here? Here we can specify, for example, the category other as the first one. That is, these are the ones that have nothing to do with support at all. Here we write that it's an email not related to support. And the other category is specifically customer support, those that are related to customer support. In this case, I want to take a look at the document now. There's some company mentioned there, right? we have cloud solutions there. You can also add this information to the description. Although, on the other hand, you don't have to add the name here, because this node has nothing to do with, well, it doesn't know what information belongs to which company. The responsibility of this node is only to separate those that relate to customer support in this case, and those that do not relate to customer support. Customer support. Let's leave it like this for now. Here we choose to do nothing. We're not interested in those that don't relate to support. And the model, by the way, we connect the model here. Again, my favorite model is 4.1 n8n, and this model is more than enough. It does a great job at identifying and is perfect for a text classifier. So let's run it now. I'm launching it, and let's see where it classifies. So it classifies as customer support, because this email matches that. And here we already need to use the AI agent node. So look here, we change it, not chat input, but we define the user message. Again, this is the text from the email. Done. Next, we'll define the system message for it a bit later, but for now, we're connecting the OpenAI 4.1 node again, yes. So by default, I always use 4.1 mini for now and then see how the agent behaves. If it gets confused at some points, I can switch to 4.1 or Gemini. Alright, next we connect the tool. So, as in my previous video, we connect our Pinecone vector database. Here we describe what information we have here. By the way, we can take this description from the previous node or write our own. So, for example, documents about FAQ and return and policy company of the company. So, the demo index stays, we leave the limit at 4. Well, metadata can be included or not included. This is the re-rank result. It means that when the chunks are returned, each has its own rating, and they might not always be returned correctly. And when you enable re-rank, usually those related to the question are returned first. But for now, we won't touch this option because, again, in all cases, I recommend starting from simple to more complex implementations. Because if you start right away with complex implementations, those usually require more logic, more resources, and they're harder to maintain. If a simple solution works, there's no need to complicate things. So we'll leave re-rank turned off. Next, we have the Pinecone vector. We've connected it. Our embedding model is small, and we need to set the dimension to 512. That's what we missed in the previous video, which is exactly why we had an error. If you remember, it's very important for the dimensions to match the originally uploaded file. Alright, let's run it now and see what happens. We didn't write a system prompt for the AI agent. Alright, let's run it again now. Let's see, yes, it should connect to Pinecone and OK. If you could provide more details, you would hate to provide more details, information, best regards. OK, let's also add that it should sign off at the end. How should it sign off in emails? Okay, let's specify that it should sign off as support of cloud solutions. Cloud Solutions is the company mentioned in our document. Let's give it this instruction. Alright, let's run it again and see if anything changes. Okay, yes, everything changed, great. And now we send the email directly back to the person. Send message. Now we go back to the no Gmail trigger. And here we have his email. Here it is. We need to select reply. In the reply, we set the ID. This is so that in Gmail, you have the thread, the conversation history with the client. And the output. There's another option here. We turn it off so that there's no signature saying it was sent from n8n. Alright, the message was sent successfully. And now I'll show it to you. Here it is, it arrived, yes. So it's in the thread, and here we can also add, for example, a label to our email, right? Here we'll add it. Here you can specify the message ID again. Yes, we take it right here. And specify a label that we want to be displayed in Gmail. This way, we can filter certain things, right? For example, you can set a label like customer support, and then we can use it and see in our Gmail all the sorted emails that were sent through customer support. So, I hope you liked this video as well. Give it a like and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video. Just a reminder about the course on n8n. Follow the link in the description and sign up. Soon, in the third quarter, as I promised, my course will be released. So, see you next time.